I remain Mr. Hilary Idumoba. As a realtor, I'm also a facility manager and a partner with Shelta. You, as a tenant that you're finding it difficult to pay your rent, this is opportunity for you to partner with Shelta. Shelta will help you pay your rent. And as a landlord, that your tenants are not paying their rent as at when due, this is the opportunity to give your property to Shelta to manage, to free you from every stress of drawing your money from your tenant. Shelta will guarantee you your rent and also make sure the tenants living in your property are well vetted, are well known tenants. This is what you enjoy with Shelta. Bring your property to Shelta and you will enjoy your property at the time being, and as you are living on earth here, you will be smiling. Thank you very much.
I remain Miriam Victor as a Shelta partner in Asaba. I've gained a lot from Shelta and I've introduced a lot of persons to Shelta. I encourage you as a tenant, as a landlord, to partner with Shelta. I promise you, you will not regret it. Shelta got you covered. Thank you.
It's been a wonderful time with the shelters. And I really encourage you as a tenant to be part of this wonderful opportunity. Paying your rent shouldn't be a burden. Just join these people and be free from this. Currently, I'm part of them right now. And I will tell you for sure that my properties are in good hands. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome back to this wonderful program. Still Softmation podcast, and we are still here with the Shelta. And here we have Mrs. Miriam. Still, see her beautiful smile right now. No, Shelta, I believe Shelta is doing good in your area. And Mrs. Miriam, you have to tell us more about Shelta, about the landlord part. What happens to the landlord if he joins Shelta?
Well, it's a good platform. I'm Miriam Victor by name. I've been with Shelta for about a year plus now. And I can tell you boldly that Shelta is good. And they are here to solve that common problem between the landlord and the tenant, which is the common thing there is their rent. Give me my rent at the due date, and the tenant sometimes is not able to meet up this target. So Shelta is here to say, as long as you come on board as a Shelta landlord, and for now we are doing free onboarding for all landlords. The first target is 10,000 landlords. I don't know if the company will change that policy, but for now, it's free for all landlords across the nation.
So if you say free onboarding for landlord, that means they don't pay anything.
No, landlord is not paying anything, not even a dime. All we need is your concept to onboard that building. That's giving Shelta the mandate to manage your property, have your details on our dashboard, give us, if it is 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, how many units is in that particular building. That even if the property is already having tenants, they vet the tenants that are there to get them on board, getting all their details and all of that. So all they need is your concept to say, okay, manage my property, just the way we have lawyers and some roadside agents managing properties. They are not property managers. A lawyer might study property law, but is not designed to manage a property. That is why you see some lawyers that they are managing property, they don't even know the location of the property. They can take rent on that property for years without knowing what is happening in the property. But in Shelta, it's not like that, because they must assign a facility manager, trained, certified a facility manager that will go down to the building, find out what is happening in the building, check the tenants from time to time. If there's any repair or any damage on the building, they report back to the company. Wow. The ones the company will manage, they will tell you. The ones they want the landlord to partake on, they will also tell you.
So talking about this lawyer, because I know about lawyers managing properties. They just get the rent for you and they are out. As Shelta landlord right now, what are the benefits for as a landlord? Like, because we talked about the rentage for tenants. Tenants can pay. What about, I heard about harmonizing. Like, how do you harmonize rent in Shelta for a landlord?
Okay, well, part of the tenant landlord's benefit, number one is that you are onboarding to Shelta free.
Yeah.
You're not paying us a dime. All we need is your concept to onboard the building, like I said. Then the second one is to get your guarantee rent at the due date. Guarantee rent at the due date is you have given Shelta the property to manage. If it is 1st of January, that will 1st of January, the shelter will not wait for the tenant to pay them. Shelter pays you because you have given them a contract. So they want you to be on the receiving end without waiting for the tenant to pay.
Yeah.
So they give you that rent. That is what we call on a due date, they give you your rent. Then when you're talking about harmonizing the rent, is a very big opportunity for landlords, because you see some people have like estates or property that has over 10 units, 20 units as the case may be. And some of their tenants don't pay at the same time. Maybe someone pays in January, February, like that. Yeah, depending when they entered. So now the company said, we can harmonize this rent. From the day you onboard this property, give us 6 months to 1 year to vet the tenants that are there, to know them, to know what they do, to know if it is something that we can handle. Because at the end of the vetting, they can tell you they will not handle it.
Like the vetting you talked about right now, like to know what they do, what makes Shelta to leave a property? In this vetting you talked about, what are the...
For example, if they vet the property and maybe the tenants that are living there are not qualified, because that's one thing we don't do in Nigeria. We don't vet tenants. You don't even know the tenants you are putting in your property. All you know is that someone said you will pay 800,000 and you are giving your rent. You don't know where the person is from. You don't know where the person is working. There is no a shorty or somebody to stand that I know this person.
Yeah.
You are just giving out your property. And that is why sometimes overnight somebody can just wake up, pack out of the house, tracing to nowhere. The landlord will say, it's owing me 2 years, it's owing me 1 year, because you don't know the person. But with Shelta, if you give us your property to manage, I guarantee you that every detail of that tenant will be known by the company. So that when they are giving you your rent, even when the tenant have not paid, they are not scared.
Sure.
They are sure. There is no way the person will run away without paying their rent. Even if the person feels, okay, after all, they don't pay my rent now, they have a way to recover their money.
So Shelta is the big deal, right?
Yes.
Shelta is the big deal. You as a landlord out there, I think you have to onboard your property to Shelta right now, because Shelta, for everything we've heard, Shelta is good for you as a landlord. And for the tenant also, I think we have to rephrase. Let's just go back, ask a few questions about those tenancy. The tenant part caught my attention right now. As a tenant, Mr. Hillary said, they can pay instrumentally, that they can pay monthly, quarterly. How real is this? Like, how real? Because we have so many persons having rentage issues because of land. Now, how real?
Like he said, some people want to pay, but they don't have the capacity.
Yes.
Some have the capacity, they don't want to pay. So one thing leads to another. What we are saying is that if the company has vetted the person, that vetting is to know you and to know what you do. Because, for example, now someone that is selling crayfish and the person that is working as a salary earner, they are not the same person. So there must be a way to plan your rent. In Nigeria, we don't plan our rent. We just remember that my rent will expire next week. We don't have a plan for it. But we are supposed to plan. From the day you enter an accommodation, you're supposed to start planning. So the company also have what we call gap financing. That's another package. Gap financing is a place where you can be saving gradually.
I think that would be for another day.
Yeah, gap financing. Yeah.
Currently, we've enjoyed our time with Shelta, and it's the best for my own end. I believe I'm going to onboard my property to Shelta. And also, tenants, go for Shelta. Stop dying trying to pay your rentage. Go for Shelta. And I believe even for shop owners also, they can...
Yes, plazas, big shopping malls and all of that.
So if you are a business...
anything that is on a rented situation, yes, can go with Shelta.
Just go on board.
Then talking about this landlord and harmonization, you know, we didn't really spell it out very well. It is something that if the total rent of that property yearly is 10 million, for example, the company can actually pay that 10 million. If they have vetted the tenants and they are sure that, yes, we are good to go. Although there is there are terms and conditions for the company because it's not for free, but it's very friendly because they do maintenance and all of that. But the good thing is that they can give you a rent on one due date.
And they know how
they know how to receive it from the tenant, irrespective of when they pay. But the company want to take it upon themselves by saying, your rent is 10 million naira. We are giving you this 10 million naira with little conditions that they will put on it. Are you getting it now? So it's going to help you to start another project. It's going to help you to dream for something better. You know, sometimes children want to go back to school. Somebody is paying you 250,000 and you have a demand of 750,000. It doesn't balance it, you know. So you still see some landlords are struggling to live because they cannot get this thing done at a particular date. So that's one benefit the landlord should look out for. The moment they vet your tenants, be rest assured that your rent will be paid to you at the due date. Then if you need it as a harmonized rent, it can also be given to you at a particular due date without delay.
Now, before we round it up, and I also heard about Shelta legal thing.
Yeah.
What, as a landlord, if you have legal issues, like how do Shelta come for you?
We are even looking for them with speed. These are the people that will use Shelta to understand what the language of Shelta is. Like the name Shelter.
Yeah.
The three important things of life is food, clothing, and shelter. And you can see where their own is coming from, shelter. This case between landlord and tenants, most of the landlord and tenants, they are in court today for one issue or the other. Even the lawyers we give our properties to manage, before they stand in court, you pay them. I have my own landlord told me that he cannot give lawyer property to manage, and at the end of the day, come and tell me, come and pay me to appear in court. But in Shelta, they have their legal team. That if you are partnering with them as a landlord, if there's any tenant that is giving you issue, the company will assign a lawyer because you have given them a contract. It's not just to manage property, it's a contract. And the contract goes 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, pending the years you have assigned to them. So they try to make it very easy and simple for the landlord.
Thank you very much,
Thank you,
Mrs.
sir.
Marian, and I do appreciate you and also Shelta.
Well, it has been very interesting. I was watching behind the scene, and believe me, I was entertained and I picked up a whole lot from the podcast. We had an invited guest who is partnering with Shelta, and she highlighted a whole lot of things that were very educative. And as it has been so far very interesting and educating, I encourage you all to stay tuned because it's going to get excited by the week. Stay tuned, stay connected. Thank you. Softmation is right here for you to give you that visibility your business and your company needs, okay? So stay tuned to Softmation. Stay tuned, stay tuned, stay tuned. Same time next week. And we are going to be here to entertain you. Please like and comment on our post. Also, subscribe on our YouTube channel. Thank you.